Hi, I'm Cheryl from the Sewing Room channel, and I'm going to show you guys how to bring the ends of your binding together just a little bit differently than what I normally do so that those edges stay nice and flat. You won't even know there's a seam there. So let's first review really quickly how I've been showing you how to do it, which I consider the easiest way to do it. All right, so you've put your binding on. The ends of your binding are just straight edges here, okay? And after you've got your binding stitched on the front, you're bringing the two edges together and you overlap the ends by about 1/2 inch, and then you cut the excess off. Then you open up the ends and you're going to bring front sides together, fold your project in a little bit, bring those ends together, pin it down, stitch 1/4 inch, finger press that seam open, fold it back, and finish stitching it down, okay? So this probably looks very familiar to you, what I just done. Now I'm going to show you how to do this to where the ends are cut just a little differently. So let me set this aside. Now, if you are using more than one strip of binding for your project, then you need to turn all of your strips to where the front side is up and that the back side is facing down. Very important, no matter how many strips you're using. Then go ahead and stack them on top of each other. Line up the edges, okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut each end of the strips in a 45-degree angle, and it's important that both ends are going in the same direction. They can either go this way or this way, but make sure they're not going opposite of each other. So in order to do that, take your ruler and look for your 45-degree line right there. Okay, and you're going to place it on the raw edge here. So line it up and then shift it down towards the corner. Make sure you're not going past this corner up here. Just shift it near that corner. And then with your rotary cutter, go ahead and trim them off. Okay, now take that ruler, slide it down this way, line up that 45-degree line there, and make sure your cut is going to go in the same direction as that first cut. Line it up and then trim it off. Okay, there you go. So now look at this. See how they're both going in the same direction. Now to connect those strips, you're going to bring front sides together and you're going to place it like this. Bring those raw edges together. Now the one thing that you don't want to do is pull it over here like that, because it's not going to come out right. See where the corners are hidden? You want to have a 1/4 inch tail on this end as well as on this end, okay? Then you're going to stitch them together, and you're going to stitch from this corner down to this corner, okay? Once you've done that, go to your ironing board and go ahead and press the seams open so where they're nice and flat. Then with a pair of scissors or a rotary cutter, go ahead and trim these off, okay? Just like that. Do that on all of them. Then at your ironing board, you want to go ahead and fold your strips in half and press all the way down. And then you're done. Now, I want you to look at how the ends are. See how this is cut out here? That's the way it's supposed to be. And then look at the opposite end, and it's also cut out. Once you've done all of this, you're then ready to put it on your project. So, here we go. Here's my sample. So, you've put your binding on and you're starting to stitch it down. Now, you need to go over at least 6 inches before you start stitching. So go ahead, go over and begin stitching it on. Go ahead and stitch it around all 4, except you're now approaching this first end here, and you're going to bring your ends together. So you want to stop at least 6 or 7 inches away from this one here, okay? Now, take your ruler again, and you're going to place the ruler right here on this edge of the binding. Okay, so line it up, and you're going to put a mark at the 1/4 inch. Okay, because this is where you're going to stitch. Alrighty? Now take that other end and fold it over. And then pull it back a little bit so that you can see that other mark. And mark your other piece. This is where the 2 pieces are going to come together. Now, I'm going to pull this back. Open up your binding, because you need to cut any excess off that may be there. Now take your 45-degree line, and you're going to lay it on this edge here. Okay, so place it on there. Slide it back until the corner of the ruler hits that mark here. Okay, and then make sure your edge is straight along here. And then with your rotary cutter, you're going to cut it off. Now I'm at a weird angle, so I'm not going to cut, but just pretend I cut, because I don't want to slice my finger off. Okay, so cut it off. Now open up both ends. As you can see, they're going in the same direction. So now you're going to take this mark and bring it over to this mark. So match them up. So go ahead and bring them down there. Now when you're lining it up, you're going to have a little tail over here that's sticking out past this raw edge. You want it like that, okay? And then on this end, you're going to have the same thing, a little bit of a tail. Go ahead and pin this all down, and then stitch a 1/4 inch all the way across there. Now, when you're done, let me get a sample out here. Wrong one, here it is. This is what your seam would look like when it's stitched together, so that you'll know. So you've got it all stitched together. Now, fold your binding back, finish pinning it down, and stitch it down. Now, when you've got it stitched, you'll notice that the line on your binding is going in this direction. And then as you turn it, it continues going in that direction. So when you run your finger across, there's no lump there at all. But let's look at that other one again. Here was the one where the edges were straight, and when I run my finger across it, there's a little bit of a bump. Now, if that bump really bothers you, it doesn't bother me, but if it bothers you, then go ahead and try it this other way. Okay? All right. Well, try this. You might like it even better. A lot of your really advanced quilters, this is their preferred method for doing it. Now me, I like quick and easy, and so I prefer doing it the other way. But try it. You might really like the results a lot better. Now, if you have any questions, any help, you need help with a project, leave a comment in the comment section below the YouTube screen. I read all the comments, the good, the bad, the ugly, lay it on me, okay? And I read them all. I try to answer as many as I can. If you have an idea for a video, something you'd like to see demonstrated, put that down there in the comments section. And if I feel it's something that other viewers are interested in and that it's something that can be put into a video, I'll take it into consideration, and at some future date I'll put it in there. Now, if you're not a subscriber of the Sewing Room channel, then click on one of the subscribe buttons. There's one down in the right corner, one in the upper left hand corner. Click on either one of those. Enter your email address. YouTube will send you an email when I have a new video. It's got a big button in the center. You click on it, takes you directly to my latest video. I'm Cheryl. I'm really glad you came to my sewing room, and I'll see you next time, and there's a lot more blogs to come, and happy sewing.